What's up, y'all? It's Ridgemont Forest Finest. I'm here with Miss Michelle Williams, the Miss Michelle Williams, y'all. We were texting today on some HISD foolishness, and I was like, hey, we gotta hop on a live right quick. So I threw on my wig and just like tucked it a little bit. Y'all spare me. Bear with us today, but this is like so super impromptu, so we can have some conversations about what in the hell is going on with HISD. First of all, let me tell the people we've had you on a couple of times. You and I have chatted a couple of times on here for the people. One time, the first time I believe, is when you were on administrative leave, when HISD put you on administrative leave. And guess where you are again today?
On administrative.
What the hell is going on with that? Tell us about that.
Well, what people don't know, I try to avoid this at all costs. And, I asked to be transferred. I asked to go to another campus, but the district made me stay at the campus. And I even talked to the principal. I talked to the senior executive director. None of them would move me because they were saying we were going to be NES. And I already knew that NES was an unethical and a model that required teachers to break laws.
Mhm.
So I tried. I said, I told the principal, I said, we're going to butt heads every day behind this because I'm student centered and that model is adult centered. You got to do everything for the adults that come in your class. Forget the kids that you're teaching.
Mhm.
Oh, you got to, and they call it low inference. And to tell the assistant principal, I'm not a low inference teacher. Low inference means that you don't know nothing. I said, it's not my fault. Y'all have people coming in here that are not real educators.
Right.
Like when you come into a classroom, I don't care what classroom I'm going in, I can tell what's going on because I'm a true educator.
Yeah.
So after that happened, it just, we started bumping heads early on about the pacing for my emerging bilingual students. All teachers know who have been teaching for however length of time know that emerging bilingual students get a plethora of Texas education code mandated support. And extra time is one of them because we know that they have to process.
Right.
And I had two groups of emerging bilingual. One were beginners and one were intermediate. So we bumped heads, and then I had some special education students, and I just wasn't going to budge. And then this year, I normally teach math, but my principal that was blindsided with being removed a week before school began, she asked me to be in this position of science of reading because she knew I had a background in reading from when I first started teaching. So I was teaching science of reading and, I was concerned about the students and their reading because I got the data back, which I already knew that they were not able to read in English. They could read in Spanish. I don't want people to think that they couldn't read at all.
Right.
Third grade, we're supposed to transition the children to English. So how do you transition children to English if you're not teaching them how to read? And I knew that the district was in violation of the law for science of reading because science of reading is the 5 components of reading: phonics, phonemic awareness, fluency, vocabulary, and comprehension. HISD had turned it into a test prep course.
Third
And I
graders.
told them, yeah, for third graders, they were trying to force me to give students who could not read an English passages.
So
And that's where the rubber met the road.
So let me back up a little bit here because you, like you said, your principal who was there for your drama last year was blindsided a week before school started and was removed from their position. Were they terminated from the district or removed from the district entirely?
No, they demoted her. She had been at that school for almost 20 years.
Wow. Okay, I didn't know that part. So then you get this new principal in who is a part of the He on the dark side, the Mike Miles dark side. And I remember
Yep.
you having a conversation with me, and you said day one, you had a conversation with your principal on some, hey, let me explain to you, you new to the game, but this is what they're gonna try to get you to do. They're gonna try to get you to be unethical. Don't come over here selling your soul, being unethical, because I'm gonna come for you.
We told him that I'm not on board with this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, because I am going to basically pull documentation and I'm going to follow the law. And he was not interested in any of that. All he cared about was implementing that model, the model this, the model that. But when I was telling him, not only him, because I was very vocal about where the students were and what was taking place with them, because that's what we were supposed to do. But at no time were they interested in improving the student academics.
Mm-hmm.
They were just so focused on, you were on your at 15 minutes and you were supposed to be here and you weren't there.
That
Well,
pacing stuff.
sorry. Yeah, the pacing. Yep. That was all it was about.
So when you got your notice to you had filed a complaint with TEA. You filed a complaint with TA about ethics violations and the violation of special education laws for some of your special education students who receive services. And shortly thereafter, you got a memo for a conference of record. So you were called.
It wasn't a conference for a record.
Oh, what was it?
So it was just a write-up saying that I was being reassigned. So what happened was, and it's a timeline to this.
Yes.
So I was out with COVID. It was that Thursday I called in because we had a COVID outbreak at our school. So I was like, look, I'm not, I was feeling okay the day I took off. And my principal was saying, oh, I need to meet with you. I need to meet with you. And I'm like, okay, are you coming in tomorrow? Yes. Because at first he had the secretary send me an email, and then I didn't respond to the email, because we'll have to respond to emails when we're sick. I just accepted the calendar invitation.
Mm-hmm.
So he texted me and said, are you coming in? I said yes. But then the next morning I woke up, I wasn't feeling well. So I texted him and told him, look, I'm going to come for your little meeting, but I'm not going to stay because I don't feel good. And now, unbeknownst to me, I was running a temperature at the time. So I go in and they blindside me with the North Division is what I told the Chronicle as well. But after that, um, I had a grievance hearing, which the district kept rescheduling
Mm-hmm.
because they were trying to beat the grievance. They had these board of people come in and vote on changing the consultation policy. So they kept playing with the scheduling of the grievance.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be that August 7th, but they pushed it back to the 26th. So after I came from COVID, because I was back the 25th, after I came back, I had the grievance hearing. So I guess they was mad. That Tuesday, I received an email from TEA saying that they had received my complaint.
Mm-hmm.
And it was basically all the heads on HISD on that email telling them that they had a complaint. My name was on the complaint. I was on the email. So it wasn't any guessing about who filed the complaint.
Mm-hmm.
At Tuesday at 3:45, Houston ISD leadership got my special education complaint. On Wednesday, I had my grievance hearing. They concocted some story talking about I left campus without telling anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one source is our absence management system. And prior to this, I had a conversation via email with my principal. He was trying to tell me, well, if you have a virtual hearing, you don't have to put your time in. And I told him, quite frankly, that my experience with HISD, they don't always adhere to board policy, and that I document all of my activities on contractual time. So the morning that when I emailed him and said, hey, the one source is down, he had already been aware that I was documenting my time and I was going to take that time off.
Mhm.
So they concocted a story, and by Thursday, I was gone.
So let's go back because you already had a claim against them for retaliation. You already made mention to them. And so we're doing it again. And I know we've talked several times. I talked with a couple of HISD, HR people, and we all know that retaliation is the hardest thing to prove, right? Based on all of the guidelines they have set up for what the definition of retaliation is. But clearly, what's happening to you, not just you, because there are other teachers on other campuses, Patrick Henry Middle School. I had somebody reach out to me today from Sharpstown High School. I had somebody reach out to me today from another elementary. I can't think of it off the top of my head. But same exact thing. They filed complaints with TEA saying, hey, this curriculum is unethical. What you're asking me to do is unethical. The things that I see happening to my students is unethical and it's educational malpractice. And I ain't doing it because I need my license. The next day, they're
That
reassigned to
was
home
rude.
duty. Somebody
Yep.
even told me Friday, Thursday, they got an email at the end of the school day and said, hey, don't come to campus tomorrow. You've been reassigned to home duty. And these are all of the people that are vocal about speaking up. I had a young lady, don't tell me I can't, again, I don't want to say school names anyway, spoke up, asked the question about curriculum because they were also not an NES school, but being told to do NES curriculum, follow the NES model. And they asked the question about the pay. Well, hey, whoa, those NES teachers at those campuses are getting paid buku dollars. We're not getting buku dollars. Why are we having to do this model, or how are we going to be compensated? Next day, they walked into work and somebody told them, oh, I think I smell alcohol on you. And they're like, alcohol? Yeah, we smell alcohol on you. We're going to send you down to the nurse's office to get us a bride, some shit. And I said, you did? Are you a part of the union? No, I'm not part of the union. Hey, I don't know how many times I could scream from the mountaintop. And it's not just because you are the NEA union rep, HEA union rep. Guys, get in the union because when things like this happen to you, you're being called randomly for a drug test, randomly for how the hell do you even do an alcohol sobriety test in the school system? But anyway,
And it's not supposed to be done by the
it's
nurse.
not
It's
supposed.
supposed, and the policy states that if you are invoking that, the principal has to escort the employee to wherever they do. So they should have said no, because that is not the policy.
So it's my understanding that they did say no, but then what did they get the next day? Home duty. Home duty. So it baffles me that HISD continues to get away with just breaking the law. We know Mike Miles, Mike Morad, we know everybody is in bed with one another, but this is an egregious breach of everything in the Texas Education Code. I just don't understand why they're not following something that they want us to stick to so badly. I don't understand that. But moving forward, please talk to us about home duty because home duty to me sounds like 2020 COVID teaching at home, get my paycheck. But what is home? That sounds like a vacation to me. I ain't gonna lie. Sounds like some rest.
So, and it honestly, it's set up by our Chapter 21 contracts. And if you're a probationary contract teacher, you're not Chapter 21. So, and I found this was new to me on my first round of home duty. I was at the bus barn. My attorney, I was the first one to be moved from the bus barn in those types of things because she argued in my grievance. And people don't know that I had a grievance first before there was non-renewal. So she argued that that was not appropriate placement for a Chapter 21 contract. It didn't match the same duties. So the only thing they can do is put us on home duty.
You know,
And from what I understand is there's no more help or bus barn. Something happened with HFT. I'm not sure.
right. So it makes me go back to think I was in HISD. How old is my daughter? My daughter's almost 16. I was in HISD before I got pregnant with my daughter. So I was there for a long time. And teacher jail was a thing. You're going to the bus barn, you're going to the copy center, you're doing all of these things that are don't want to, I hate to use the word beneath you, but that are not aligned with your job duties that you were contractually hired to do, right? I remember talking to some Fort Bend, I guess the HFT or Fort Bend section of AFT, and they had the same deal. They were sending teachers to clean buses because I'm paying you 50, 60, $70,000 a year. You can't sit here and play with your toes and twiddle your thumbs. So those teachers were sent to clean and sanitize buses, and they had to argue with them like, "Hey, that's not that's not what they're supposed to be doing." So then those teachers ended up going home. But it makes me think of the many, many years of teachers long before me who have been assigned to do things like that, and all this time they weren't even supposed to be doing that.
No, they weren't.
That's
They
crazy.
they were not. And actually, the bus barn and those types of situations are not supposed to be long term.
Mm,
They were generally for teachers who were under investigation
right.
and it wasn't going. That's what it was for. But then Mike Miles came in and made it something that it was not designed to be.
Yeah.
It was just a holding area for them as the investigation went forward.
It was when I was there, it was you touch the kids, you touch the money. And you're under investigation. You go there for 10, 14 days while it plays out. Maybe you exhaust an appeal or two, and then we fire you or we send you back to campus or reassign you to another campus, but you're back to educating because that's what you're getting paid to do. So walk us through a day of home duty. What does a day of home duty look like for a teacher that has been removed from her third grade reading class?
Well, I just call in, give them my little employee ID number, and that's it. And then at 4 o'clock, I call and give 'em my employee ID number. The lady, she's really nice. And she say, have a good day. Thank you. You too.
So, what are you doing from 8 to 4? Are you doing some charts? Are you doing some curriculum building? Are you doing anything that the taxpayers are paying you to do?
No, and the thing about it is, you said that all the people that are standing up for children, they, this is my belief, and I could be wrong. They don't want us to gather any more evidence than we have against the district.
Yeah.
So that was in my opinion, the reason why they moved people. Because while you're there,
Yeah.
um, you're getting more information to
Mhm.
build your case. Even as, like early as today, I've had people tell me that they have started changing the science of reading activities because they know by law they were violating the law. So they've already started changing them.
Yeah.
So why would they put me in that to see that they're
They're
changing it
changing it.
because you can't beat my grievance and everything that I have in my grievance, like I told my principal, I don't follow unlawful, unethical directives. And they're unethical because they were breaking the law. And all of them were. So they knew that the science of reading that's mandated by the Texas Education Code.
Mhm.
It wasn't something that they made up. They had to have it a certain way. So why would they have me in their system doing anything when they're trying to shore it up? And I'm not surprised because they did it with my evaluation grievance. Same thing.
So, based on your what you can share as a union president, how many teachers can you think of right now that are at home? This is what week 4, week 5, going into week 5 of school, who are at home and have been reassigned to home duty.
Some that have been on home duty for year two.
Okay. Okay. So now this takes me back to we did an episode on the podcast a couple of weeks ago about well, first we did chapter 21, and then we had a lady on there named Jay. She has a consulting company called The Human Resource, and she used to be in education human resources. And so she was sharing, a lot of her knowledge as far as HR with teachers is concerned. And it's so I don't want to say sad, but it is a little sad, disheartening to me that so many teachers don't know their rights under chapter 21. How you go home on home duty for 2 years or for a year or two is because you're probably have already signed a multi-year contract with that district, and then you've done something and they can't just fire you. I know people love to say Texas is an at-will state, Texas is an at-will state, which it is, but As teachers, as contracted employees, we have rights and protections under the Texas Education Code. And so we can skate around that just a tad bit, right? Big thing, don't touch kids, don't touch money. They're gonna get you up out of there quick. But if this is something like you got going on right now, I've had situations where I've been threatened with non-renewal for having a social media and it's like, hey, well, I'm in the middle of my contract, so what we finna do? We just gonna sit here and play with each other until my contract runs out. But even still, those teachers, I always say, don't go in and resign. They scare you into resigning because they say things like, "Oh, we're going to send you up for file review. Oh, we're going to move for termination." Okay, well, let's play. Let's do it. It's going to be fun. But teachers don't understand the levels and the protections that they have under Chapter 21. Can you briefly run through that again for the people?
So if you're a Chapter 21 teacher, that means that you have the right to appeal any non-renewal, and you can appeal them to TA, but you can only do that in 15 days after they initiate the process. So you appeal it, well, not initiate, they make a decision, which generally goes before the board. So after that's done, hopefully you have an attorney that can represent you in the process, because it's a rough process. It is. And even if you lose the hearing, you can still appeal it to
Till
the
again.
commissioner.
Yeah.
So it's several routes that you can take under a Chapter 21 contract versus a probationary contract. And that's why in HISD, they have probationary contracts for 3 and 4 years, which is unheard of, because I got you, because you have no rights to appeal. They can just let you go, and you can't appeal it unless there is a caveat in that policy, unless it's like something that's not breaks the policy of how they're non-renewing people,
Mm,
but it has to be something egregious on the district side.
okay.
So even there is not cut and dry.
Right. Right.
But a lot of people who get non-renewed just take it on the chin and leave.
And go because they threaten them with, "Oh, you don't want a termination to be on your file if you go and fight it." They scare a lot of those. I feel like they do it to a lot of younger teachers and teachers that are not informed. But the truth of the matter is, these districts don't want to go through the process of termination. They don't want to go through the hearings either because it's costly to them and it's time consuming. And so it's easier for you or for them for you to just roll over and just say, "I'll sign and I'll resign." Nobody has to do any
Yeah.
work. And I always tell, no, make them work. Make them work. Especially if you don't have a desire to go back into education. If I leave education to go to oil and gas, what do I care if there's a termination on my teaching certification or my teaching record? I don't care. Like, no, make them work. It's okay.
But I think teachers have this concept of a perfect patty person.
Yeah.
Like, if getting terminated is going to make you crumble, like, have you really lived?
Mm,
Because I know my brother, he works for corporate. He's been terminated a couple of times.
facts.
So I don't get it with the whole "I'm terminated" thing. What Nobody's checking for the educator. You
No.
can get a job somewhere, ma'am. You can. You can get a job somewhere else.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you just have to stand for what's right.
Yeah.
And that's just who I am.
Yeah. I think I was talking to one of my counselor friends today because a group of my counselor friends have some things going on in another school district. And I'm like, "Hey guys, you just can't be scary. Like it's either in you or it's not." And I know I don't like to shame people who don't have that fight in them, but nothing changes if nothing changes. And so if everybody just sits around quietly and we keep it in a group chat instead of bringing it to the school board or bringing it to the podium, then they keep getting away with everything they're getting away with, and they can count on us. We are probably the most battered and abused profession ever. And it's just like an abusive relationship. We're scared to leave. We don't want to leave for the kids, or we're scared to speak up. But it's like, okay, how many times you gonna keep getting your head knocked between the washer and dryer before you get tired and you fight back? But if only a small percentage of us are fighting back and the rest of y'all are sitting quiet, or when somebody gets to you and calls you and threatens you, you crumble and you cave in, then what? They love that. They depend on you doing that. So,
Now they absolutely do. That's why I was talking to one of my co-workers. She was like, "Well, they said you resigned." I said, "No, ma'am. I said, I'm not going to resign because I didn't do anything wrong.
I'm never
I
gonna make
said,
it that easy
and
for you.
at the end of the day, HISD, like you were talking about retaliation, they already have a documented case of retaliation with me.
Right.
Now, the initial part may be hard to prove from an HR standpoint,
Mhm.
but my case is not because it's already documented. You have a first instance of retaliation.
Mhm.
Hearing officer put that in my documents.
Wow.
So there, when HR people, I'm not saying that they don't know what they're talking about, but I already have one case. This is the second, and it can be proven. You know why it can be proven? Because guess what? I sent an email to HR
Mhm.
and the general counsel, HISD's general counsel, and the North Division reminding them that they were supposed to put protections in place for me via my non-renewal hearing remedies because we combined my non-renewal hearing and my grievance, which was a level 2, and I
Mm.
won my hearing. And it was the responsibility of Houston ISD to put protections in place. And I can go further. I spoke at the board meeting August 14th. The North Division showed up in my classroom August 5th. That's the same thing that happened in the first case. So when I reached out to the top people, Jessica Naaman, yeah, Jessica Naaman was on that email.
We're gonna talk about her in a minute too. So
Yeah,
you're
so
reminding them that you're basically intimidating me and you're supposed to have protections in place
yeah,
to
I told them, I said first, and see, people don't know I had already filed a complaint against the Title IX investigator. And I put that in the email. I said, I don't feel comfortable with these people in my classroom. And I told them all of that. One thing I can say about Orlando Reddick, he didn't even bother me. He would check in with my principal to see how I was doing. And that is it.
who is
I got
Orlando
no
Reddick?
bit. He was the previous North Division. He was the previous North Division chief.
Okay.
He didn't allow his people. I had no visits. Last year, no problems. This year, he's gone, and I had problems day one.
Where is he now?
He's in the central.
Oh, he moved regions.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can't say every time he sees me, he say, "Hey, young lady."
Okay. Well, what's up, Orlando? Shout out to you. Let's talk about Jessica. Let's talk about Jessica because Thursday morning, my phone was blowing up when I woke up. And everybody's like, oh my God, did you see this? You see this? And explain to us who Jessica Naaman is. And let's talk about her abrupt departure.
So Jessica Naaman is the chief of HR. She's the top dog of human resources.
Mm-hmm.
And, she and I mean, we had a good working relationship. I met her first week on the job. She was very personable. And at the end of the day, I didn't like everything that she did. I wasn't her fan,
Okay.
but the issues that I brought to her, she made sure that they were dealt with.
Okay.
And that was my experience with her. We would have conversation. And to be honest with you, after I won my non-renewal hearing, she was the only person from his staff that would speak to me. She would always speak to me
Mm-hmm.
when we were at Hattie Mae. The rest of them used to roll their eyes like I did something wrong. So defending yourself is wrong.
Right. Absolutely. So what I found interesting when I did my Googles on Miss Naaman is she has a law degree from not UCLA. What's the school?
San Diego.
San Diego. Okay. And she's a child advocate attorney. And so my first guess was, did she say something after seeing many of these complaints come through? Did she stand up and possibly say something about the children's rights being violated? And then Mike Miles must have looked at her like, who asked you to talk, and had her removed? But so many things went through my mind. And then I'm looking at a lot of the discussions on the different HISD posts across Facebook. And everybody is like, she lost her law license. She lost her law license. And I said, well, hold on, guys. That can be easily tracked. So let's into that because you can go on the Texas State Bar's website and they update their website daily, and it'll show you every single attorney in the state of Texas that is barred, and it'll tell you if their license is suspended or if they're expelled from practicing, period. And it'll give you the reasons why. And a lot of the expulsions or the suspensions that you see on people's law license are for failure to pay their membership dues or something like that. But her name ain't on there. I looked last night. I looked again this morning. Her name ain't on there. So I don't know where people got that rumor and where they're running from, running with that, but that's insane. Who knows? But what I found crazy was that they said that she was walked out of the administration building. And
That's what
anybody
I
who's
was.
ever been walked out of a job know we call that the walk of shame, right? Like HR comes and you probably did nothing wrong, but they walk you out of the building, walk you to your car like you're a criminal, I guess, thinking that you're going to go postal. Y'all remember what where that phrase came from. And they treat you like a criminal, and everybody that's around in the hallway, your students, everybody gets to see the big HR person and your principal, whomever is taking you on the walk of shame. So to hear that this woman possibly, allegedly, had to endure that is crazy. So when I say things like, "Oh my God, I want to feel some sympathy for her," or "That's crazy," I get people that are like, I worked with her at Idea, and she fucked up Idea too." And there's a consulting company. I'm gonna shout them out later. I don't know if it's okay for me to say their name right now, but they remind me of the show Scandal with B613. How they gonna find everything out about any school personnel you got? They sent me this damn email, and when I say it's almost like a resume, but a backwards resume of all her fuck ups everywhere she's been and the things that she was accused of and the things that she was disciplined for. Said, "God damn, I hope I don't never piss one of y'all off because y'all have my whole damn life up in this email." A very thorough email. Very thorough email. And I said, "Oh, she seems to have been a little diabolical. She created a little diabolical path along her career."
Yeah, and my thing is still with people based on how they deal with me. And
Mm-hmm.
that's all I know. And what I can say about charter schools don't have their stuff together.
No.
So
Shit, we
you
don't
ain't
either.
right. So my thing is you can't tell me anything about her in relationship to IDEA. Hence, they were taking money and funding private jets. So yeah, please cannot.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like I said, I can only deal with people the way that they deal with me. You know, tell me something about Klein ISD that she did out there. Tell me some, you know what I'm saying? Don't tell
Mm.
me about no charter schools.
Yeah.
Because charter schools, we can
You
wipe
ain't
that
trying to
off. Yeah, I ain't trying to
you
hear it.
ain't trying to hear
But
that
tell me
about no
something
charter
about
school.
because she worked at Klein. Tell me something about Lockhart ISD when she was out there.
Mm-hmm. In Georgetown ISD.
Yeah, tell
Mm-hmm.
me something about those school
Yeah.
districts that may have had their stuff together and see, then we can compare notes. It's like their resume, those references.
Yeah.
So you might have a principal that didn't like you, but you get a reference from the other principal to negate this principal, same concept. So, I mean, at the end of the day, HISD don't have its stuff together.
Yeah.
And it's a
None of us
lot of
do.
shenanigans that's going on in HISD right now. And I'm not defending her. I ain't defending none of them, but I know investigators that have left
Mm-hmm.
HISD because of the stuff that was taking place right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing a lot of illegal things. And I know it wasn't an amicable split because they took her name off of the website. It wasn't.
Immediately. Girl, that's like when I filed for divorce from my husband, I had already started using my maiden name before I filed the paperwork, okay? A year before I filed the paperwork, I had dropped that last name. I said, damn, they dropped her like that.
Maybe that was quick.
There's no loyalty. That's why I be telling these teachers, take your leave, take your days, take care of yourself because they replace you like that. And they replaced her with your homegirl, Norma Castillo. Girl, I said, I know her name stopped me. Her name came to me in so many complaints. Allegedly, let me say allegedly, I don't want nobody suing me. She's a little liar.
Well, it ain't allegedly for me. In
Mm.
my hearing, and y'all can if you can get a hold of that transcript,
Mm-hmm.
she produced an unsigned document in my hearing and said that she gave it to me. And my attorney said, in his words, Doesn't a signature signify receipt?
It was a signature on there?
Not one. And Jessica and he went further to say, well, didn't you say it was your testimony that you said Jessica Naaman the district gave you permission to non-renew me? And he said, well, who is Jessica Naaman? She said, chief of HR. No signature.
Wow.
So her name wasn't anywhere on my paperwork. And I don't know if my gut tells me my case has something to do with her departure. Because
Which
she didn't
case?
sign off on anything. This one now.
Okay.
She dodged the first one,
Okay.
but this one, she's in it. She's in it.
So I keep asking myself, is she one that's, what is this on my shirt? Is she one that's finally saying, hey, I'm going to be ethical here? Do you think she's getting pushed back because she's not fighting against you or she's not helping them to get you out of there?
I think that may be the case. That's what my gut tells me.
Okay.
Because she was on the initial email.
Right.
So she knew what was taking place. And she knew by law, because what people don't understand, that hearing officer said that I was entitled to any and all relief, which by law, that TA, that hearing officer speaks for
the state.
So if my non-renewal, my grievance was combined with that non-renewal, by law, they were supposed to keep those people away from me, and they did not do that.
Now, initially, some of the people that were in your first hearing, they got the X early on. Who were these people again?
Laura Stout. Kylene Vasquez, she got demoted. We ain't heard from her.
Yeah.
And the rest of them, even all of them got moved out of the North Division, but Dr. Stout, she left.
She's gone. So
yeah,
I find something so very funny is that a good percentage, I'm an English teacher, I ain't gonna do math, I know that's your thing. A good percentage of teachers or administrators that have had complaints filed on them or have had issues with teachers, they have this crazy fall from grace. I'm going to reference the principal from Madison High School. You know, we did a couple of episodes and social media posts about him, Edgar Contreras, I think that's his name.
He's gone.
And he, a mess, evil, hateful, some things that he's done to teachers that I've seen in writing, teachers that have snuck and hit the record button. By the way, if you don't have to hit the record button, Texas is a one party state. Tell them people you recording and you let it go, okay? But listening to messages, the audio from him, in Sharpstown. TJ Carter. Girl, I said, how are y'all putting up with this shit? Ain't no way in hell them people could talk to me like these men are talking to y'all as employees. There's no way in hell. We be up in there moving some furniture around. Like, we're not gonna do that.
But they think that they can do that because Mike Miles, and from what I was told, Sandy Massey and them cussed them out. I was like, but y'all can come over here and do that to me.
Sandy Massey cussed who out?
They cussed those principals out. That's what I was told.
Why is she still employed?
Because that's his.
Well, hell, we see what keep happening to the people in his cabinet. They fall out like your president, who, when he first got in, they start knocking the people out left and right. That's what's happening with Mike Miles' cabinet. How long do they think they gonna, baby? Anyway.
Well, it's like making a deal with the devil. And I keep telling and this is what they told me. They said, if Mike Miles is breathing, he's lying. That's what they told me.
Wow. I think the last couple of minutes, even though I feel like it's so much that we need to talk about, I think I want to spend the last couple of minutes stressing to any, not just HISD teachers, right? Because if you're where I am, if you're anywhere near me or anywhere I've been, I have to stress the importance of joining the union. HISD teachers, especially, it's only a matter of time before they start fucking with you. And if something happens, like this one teacher that called me today for something that happened yesterday, And I'm like, "Are you in the union?" He says, "No." I'm like, "They ain't gonna be able to help you, big dog. Like, now you're gonna have to go find an attorney or somebody that can help you get out of this mess that you've gotten in." And it's always the teachers who are vocal and who speak up. But if you know you're gonna be a teacher that asks questions, that asks clarifying questions, and you not settle with the shit that they're giving you might want to get you some protections in place. Now, I'm the first to say, I always say this, I've been saying it forever. Unions aren't perfect, right? It's the Texas and unions aren't perfect, but it's better to have something than nothing at all. Just like car insurance, right? We don't ever need it till we need it. Just like your home warranty. I don't ever need it till I need it. My damn hot water heater went out. I ain't had no damn home warranty. Guess what I had to do? I had to break bread. Okay. But you best believe I hurried up and got one because I don't want that damn AC going out and I'm sitting up here looking stupid. So I know what are y'all union dues? I pay them. I don't know. What are they?
Before it's like 20
$20 a
something.
check.
Yeah.
Guys, y'all blow that at the liquor store on a bottle of Crown. Go pay your union dues and get some protection because if anything happens, they call you in the office for a drug test. They call you in the office accusing you of, using your First Amendment rights on social media. You got somebody to come in and speak for you and speak on your behalf and help you out, navigate you through this situation. You cannot do it alone. And they bank on you doing it alone because they know that they can play games with you. So y'all have got to don't let the old veterans that have been burned by education tell y'all don't join the union. You better have something in your pocket playing with these people.
Yeah, and that's the gospel truth because I have a meeting with a teacher who was not part of the union. That teacher was terminated, and his attorney wants to meet with me. But it's expensive. It is, and if you got that kind of coinage, hey, big ups to you. But if I could pay my union dues to get legal protection, then you need to do that, and you want somebody that's going to represent you that's used to dealing with education law.
Absolutely.
The
Absolutely.
attorney that represented me, non-renewal, they were very good. And I look, even after the hearing ended, I sent them an email. I said, "Thank you for the work that you did on my case.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of what the outcome, you all represented me well.
Mm.
I felt well represented."
And you didn't have to come out of your
And
pocket for anything extra because
did
this was your
not.
union attorney.
Yep, that was the union attorney. I said, "You want somebody." NEA has a great network of attorneys. They do. We don't, yeah, in-house attorneys, but they don't do long-term things. They send us out to network attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
We're different. People ask, "Well, how are y'all different from HFT?" I said, "First of all, we don't drop you after you're non-renewed. That's for sure. We
Really?
continue to, yep, that people don't know that." And I was told that, well, I knew about it with AFT, but I've had people email me about how they won't be represented if their cases are not won at the hearing level.
So after that, well, the hearing level is like what, level 4 when you go in front of the board. So after that, if you have to appeal,
No, the hearing level, like non-renewal,
okay,
because there is one more step. You can appeal it to the commissioner.
right.
But
They won't
from what I
represent you for that.
told, and I had this experience from what was told by HF members, that's what was taking place, that they wouldn't go the distance.
Wow. Well, guys, I don't know. I mean, we know it's so much more. Every day we wake up is something new with HISD. Something new with education, period. I know we focus a lot on HISD, but don't think that things are not happening in other districts. Other districts are, I think their dirt is a little bit more swept under the rug. It's a little better, swept under the rug. They have, especially in some of these smaller towns, they have this good old boy networking. Everybody is related and everybody is connected, and you're damn near terrified to speak out against the system. But guys, please, like, get you some protections in place. That's all I can say. I don't know how many more times I can say, get you some protections in place and stop being scary. And last thing, parents, let me choose my words because I got in trouble last week. Let me choose my words. Parents, guys, we need you. We need you. Y'all cannot be vocal for things like sports. And I'm about to pick on some of y'all. Y'all cannot be vocal as hell and want to raise hell and fight about things like sport. But then when it's come to things like, hey, do you know that your child's special education rights are being violated? Do you know the science of reading curriculum is unethical for your child? We need your voice and your noise then. I had some parents reach out to me yesterday and they're like, can you contact the athletic director for HISD because my kid transferred in a district and they have him playing down on JV and he's supposed to be playing down on, up on varsity because they haven't processed his paperwork for you. Baby, I don't give a damn. I hate to say it like that. I don't give a damn because there are bigger fish to fry. Baby, what's your baby's GPA right now? What does your child have an actual teacher in their classroom right now? What's going on with attendance and test scores at your child's school? I don't give a damn about no JV varsity football. Okay? That's not my ministry. But parents, if they could just be as loud and vocal with that as they are about everything else, it will be a great help. I saw Miss Jackie Anderson of HFT today in a comment section of somebody's post. Hell, it may have been one of my posts. And she said, parents, you have the power. Like, this started with y'all. This started because of your lack of participation. And now here we are again because of your lack of participation. And if y'all would take a week, a couple of days to keep your kids at home and push back against the system, that's where a lot of the funding is coming from. But y'all won't help us help your babies. And I think of you all the time because as you've been in the trenches fighting for shit 2, 3, really longer. I'm saying since I've seen you in the media forever. And when teachers call you, or I see you going back and forth with teachers on Facebook that have something negative to say, or that want your help, or feel like you're not working fast enough, I can't help but to think, hell, I remember watching your hearing, and I ain't see their asses in there supporting you. I didn't see them speaking up for you, standing next to you, resharing your post, getting petitions signed on your behalf. I didn't see any of that. So it makes it almost difficult to fight as hard as you're fighting for them while you at home fighting your own battle. You're still working for these teachers while fighting being reassigned to home duty right now again.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Now, I can say this. It's a little different now, I guess, because, you know, I believe in lead by example.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't ask you to do something I'm not willing to do. And I stand where I stand and I have no regrets, none. And I think teachers know now that this is who I am as a person.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I can get another job, but I can't, my reputation and integrity need to remain intact. I have teachers that follow me. People don't know this, but I support teachers. I have a huge following of teachers. I present at conferences. And if you think for a second, I'm going to go into a classroom and do the opposite of what I'm teaching teachers to do, that's not who I am. And I'm not perfect. I'm not going to ever pretend that I am. One thing I can say, I try to live a life of integrity. I do. And I try to follow the rules. My mother instilled that in me. She was a nurse because nursing is just like teaching. They always break the rules. And she was saying, always follow the rules. And that's the one thing I ain't listened to much, but that's the one thing that stuck with me. She said, because the rules are there because something happened.
Something happened. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but at the end of the day, some of the teachers are starting to wake up. I was proud of this one teacher. He said, I'm being teacher there with you. He said, because I'm teaching these EBs. They not doing nothing that they're supposed to do with them. I'm not going to do it anymore. He said, I informed my appraiser that I will not be doing this. And that it takes a lot. I'm not going to lie because I had to coach some of my members through the retaliation.
Yes.
It's the same playbook. Let me tell you the HISD playbook. You speak out. And if you put in like something, if you're in the North Division, they're going to come to your classroom. Then after that, they're going to start writing you up. And then you're going to go home.
Go home.
That's the playbook.
Well,
they only have one.
That's it. That's
it.
The same one. I tell you what, I wouldn't be mad at a vacation at the house. If you that 15th and that 30th still come around, I ain't gonna be mad at it. But I'm gonna piggyback on what you said because I feel like you are right. And I always, everybody knows that my idol is some Miss Michelle Williams. Like I tell you all the time, I want to be like you when I grow up because you are so inspiring. Like you give teachers that, I got you. It's gonna be okay. It's okay to speak out. And me, I've been getting my ass whooped since I was a little girl about running my mouth, right? I've been getting in trouble for all my life about talking and running my mouth. My mama would tell me, you don't never shut your ass up. And my daddy would tell me, listen, you don't let these people talk to you crazy. You don't, my daddy has this famous thing. It probably isn't politically correct to say right now, but he was always tell us, I ain't raised no 60 girls. I had a little sister. I ain't raised no 60 girls. So you don't ever have to fear nobody. And so I live my life just like that. So when people say, you're not scared about being on social media, you're not scared. Scared of what? Scared of what? Like, I feel like people are fearful of the truth. People should be more scared of people like me and you than we are scared of them. And when teachers realize that, realize the power that they have, I think it'll be okay. I cannot imagine the fight that you have on certain people. And if somebody opens their mouth and says the wrong thing, you're going to let the chopper go. Right. And I say that all the time. I got Google files of people and I just be like, don't piss me off. I'm being nice. I'm being cute. Don't piss me off. Keep it cute. Right. Because I'm not scary. Like whatever it's going to be, is just going to have to be. At the end of the day, I ain't going to be homeless. I ain't going to be destitute. It's going to be okay. But if it's for the greater good, if I can help the teachers that's coming after me feel better and more confident about speaking up, just like you're doing, then hey, it's all worth it for me. I can say I've lived a life of purpose if I can do that. And we're seeing that. We're seeing more and more teachers on social media coming out and being active and voicing everything that's happening in their school districts and being more vocal about things that are going on their campuses. And I love that they're not scary. I love that. And we can get a few more people on board to not be scary. We can get, hell, we need some co-ops in the different districts around here. This is going to be the group of not scary people. I told some people the other day, hell, today too, y'all better ask Miss Michelle Williams if she can come speak and read letters for y'all on your behalf. And I told you that you need to start charging people to come to their school board meetings and speak for them. I'll do it too. So if y'all got something going on, write the letter. If you scared to speak, type the letter up and I'll speak you 3 minutes for you. But we got to start going to those podiums and speaking it. And parents again, if your baby is in a teacher's classroom who has been reassigned to home duty, I need you to know that 9 times out of 10, it's because they were fighting for your baby. You have got to go fight for that teacher and have that teacher's back. You got to. That's the only way we're gonna get out of this mess.
Yeah.
Even this devoting coming up.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Just coming up, like even for my campaign, I just want teachers to feel like they have a voice and a place.
Mm-hmm.
And we're getting there, but we're not there. Even with James Tallarico, he's going to run for Senate. And it's time for teachers to take our rightful place. And our rightful place ain't always in the classroom.
Right.
We need to get on the other side of the policy making and doing things that make sense. Because at the end of the day, it's no longer against Republicans against Democrats. It's the top and the bottom, the haves and the have-nots. We're all in this together. And the public school system, we have to save it. We do, because we don't have another election. We don't. This election coming up in 2026 is the election. It's it.
That's it.
And we don't have another one. And I can't stress that enough to tell you, you're talking about, I can go to another district. No, ma'am.
The shit.
CEA's list is long. I was at a Kentwood Democrats meeting, and the president told me that, shoot, ISD is on the takeover list. I said, oh, Lord.
Not humble.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Wow.
ma'am.
Wow.
I was telling her they're eyeing Fort
Worth,
Worth,
for sure.
Austin. And then she said, and I said, where? Yes.
And
it's a takedown of the school.
And you said something earlier when we talked. You said that more and more people, because this is all Mike Miles, Mike Marath coded, right? This is all political. Other districts are now starting to follow this NES model, but they're not calling it NES, right? But they're doing the exact same thing. So teachers are thinking that they're leaving HISD, escaping NES, but you're going into a system that's doing the same damn thing that they're doing, because pretty soon everybody gonna look up, we all gonna be charter.
Yeah, because the thing about it is he has his little Kool-Aid drinkers out there infiltrating
Yep.
Aldine ISD,
Yes.
Cleveland ISD,
Lamar
and they're
Consolidated
drinking the
ISD.
Kool. Yes, Lamar Consolidated has a high school, and I forgot the name of the high school where the teacher was complaining it's seeping into these schools, and it's nonsense. This stuff that they're talking about, engage, you can only use these engagement strategies. What? So a teacher, let's not just give me the degree. Let's just scrap the evaluation system
Mhm.
and you get evaluated on how well I do what you tell me to do.
Right, because
Because
that's
y'all
what it
not gonna
is.
sign up for that.
Whoa, I'm glad you said that. Let's talk. Damn, I wanted to do this in an hour, but there's so much more I gotta say. Let's talk about this two things. Let's talk about the spot evaluations and teacher pay with NES and what all the rah-rah is about that right now. And then let's talk about the APs and what happened with their pay all of a sudden overnight. We should have talked about this 30 minutes ago. So let's talk about spot.
The spot observation form has changed 3 times in since school been in. It went from what it was, now it's back to a checklist. Check, 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 check. And you got to stamp the learning, and you got to do this, and you got to, and it has to be low inference. If we don't see it, you don't get credit for it. So I have to say, they have to say everything. That little $6,000, that ain't no money.
Explain to people who are not familiar with HISD and the pay. Break that down for us quickly if you can.
So they have a base salary, and you can earn $6,000 if you're deemed in this high performing category. And all you can get is 6 grand extra. And there's a ceiling. They're not going to give the money to you. And then here's another thing. They have distinguished teacher review. I told them if I ever got into it, I would never do it. Because you don't make me jump through hoops, sir, ma'am. I'm not doing that. Because if you really wanted me to be a distinguished teacher, you would opt me in because I got the score. No, we want you to apply. Well,
Mm-mm.
I'm sorry. And here's the thing, if you don't apply, you can only be proficient. Yeah.
Wow.
So you're penalized for not applying. I was like, this is stupid.
This is some bullshit.
So that's the pay thing. But the teachers are slowly but surely realizing that the math ain't math,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not finna get no money. And I told them, I said, let's be clear. What he did to the assistant principals, he's gonna do to teachers. Hence what NEA Dallas said. If he's breathing, he's lying. That's what they said. I ain't said. So what happened with the assistant principals is that they were promised, and they're contractual employees. They were promised a certain amount. September came, and they were given contract salary letters minus the stipend. Guess what? You didn't get that $6,000 stipend because you win a prize because your school is no longer a failing school. Now you see why he was manipulating that data. He took those people money from them.
Wait. I signed on to be an assistant principal at ABC Elementary School. And you tell me my salary is going to be $106,000. I'm making up numbers. And then I lock in and I sign because I'm like, cool, my salary is going to be $106,000 a year. And then after I've worked almost 7-8 weeks into the year, you come back and say, oops, nah, your school did great last year. You're not getting that 6,000. So now your salary is only going to be $100,000 a year. But
And
now
you're
you're
supposed
locked
to,
in and you
yeah,
can't do anything. What was
maybe
this?
that.
What was this news article in the Chronicle the other day saying that something was a mistake? Like they gave them compensation letters or something and said, "Oh, we made a mistake." This is like the third time
NEA
they've come out and
Dallas.
made a mistake.
I'm a quote NEA Dallas. They said he breathing, he lying.
It wasn't no mistake. This was purposely done. Just like when
Yeah.
NES first started and those teachers were like, "Yeah, we're gonna make $90,000." You signed that contract and they said, "Oops, we made a mistake. You really gonna make $70,000." But now I'm locked in, and if I resign before my contract is up, you gonna hold my license. You gonna put a sanction on my license.
Now they can leave. Our attorney, I was looking for a way to get out of a contract for one of our members. She said breach of contract is not about placement. She said it's about money.
Mm,
So they have grounds. They can leave on breach of contract.
hmm.
But how many of them are? I
They're
mean,
not.
they're not.
That's scary.
So
So
they're not going to leave.
what kind of like what recourse do they have to
They
fight
have
back
to
against
file a
it?
complaint. They have to file a complaint and they have grounds for it because you cannot start a school year and change the terms of teacher contracts. But see, here's the problem with the Mike Mallett's administration. They think people are not going to challenge them.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
but they have to challenge them. And the thing, you have to bend his arm to make him respect laws. You have to. You have to bend his arm to make him respect the laws. And you can only do that through legal.
And it seems like anybody that's not buying into the culture or drinking the Kool-Aid is who got to go. And when I talk to teachers, they all have the same sort, like you said, the same playbook, right? If they speak up and ask a question, they're getting called into a conference of record the next day being told that they're negative. They're not, being positive or having optimism about the plan and the goal and the vision.
Optimistic about breaking laws. He told me that mess when I was before I got removed
Mhm.
about our social media channel. A friend of mine was telling me, she said, he telling you to get off social media. I said, well, I ain't hear that.
Mm-mm.
And he said, well, you don't have anything positive to say. Well, you ain't giving me
You ain't
nothing
doing
positive.
nothing positive. You ain't doing
I'm
nothing
not
positive.
going to lie. And that's what he's used to, people stroking his ego, telling him he's great, and he's not. He's inflicting trauma on children because evidently he has. And that's the only way that I can say. I think one of the community members told me that how he used to talk about what his dad did to him. Because I extensively researched him. I talked to everybody I needed to talk to, and everybody had the same story. He's inflicting trauma on the children. And you know what they say, hurt people hurt
Hurt
people.
people.
And that's what's taking place. Because I do believe what happened to him is what he's inflicting on these kids in these schools.
Well, I tell you what, again, I'm gonna go back to the parents. Parents, we need you. We can't do it alone. Can't do it alone. So if y'all cool with it, I don't know how much more fighting we can do. I always tell, I'll fight for your kid to the end. At the end of the day, mine is okay. My kid's gonna be okay because I'm a hell of high water, burn a bridge while standing on it when it comes to my kids. I want people to have the same energy when it comes to
Absolutely.
theirs.
And the parents do. I've been urging the parents in HISD, they're fighting over territory. No, y'all need to fight over and sue, find you an attorney and sue the school district.
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day, the little corner that you're fighting for, it will not exist if this continues to
Yeah,
happen.
we're
And
done.
the only reason that HISD has weathered this storm well enough to say that the district is still structurally intact is because of the people who have been fighting, because of that. And it's not no mistake. If it wasn't for CVPE being there, I promise you,
Shout out to them. Community Voice
they
of Public Education. Shout out.
we would not be doing as well as we did. I asked them about it. I was like, why does Dallas ISD still have his best intact? And she said that's what was missing, one of the parent groups.
On the parent groups. I know I talk to her all the time. Jess Heiner. Jess
Mhm.
Jess is, man, listen, if y'all can get, if these districts can get some parent groups like CBPE, man, I know HIZ is big enough to fight for them. I know these smaller districts around, the outskirts of Houston, they would not be able to handle a CBPE. They would cave. They just wouldn't. They wouldn't be able to. You know what? Maybe, goddamn it, I think I'm finna start me. Maybe, just maybe. I think my time is dwindling down anyway in the classroom. It may be time for me to move on to greater heights. But anyway, well, I so appreciate you, Miss Michelle. I know we're gonna be back on this theme because, like I said, every day is something new happening with HISD. Real quick before we get off, how can we support you? I know you are. This is the end of your term as president of HEA, but you are
Yeah.
getting ready to pivot. So let's talk about that real quick and then how we can support you and how we can support you being on home duty. Tell us what we can do to support Michelle.
Need for you all to support my campaign. If you don't have your coinage together, I need your time.
Mm,
That is what I need because we need to flip this seat. I am in a good position to win House District 127. I need you all to support me. My campaign is about to kick off, and it's going to take a lot for us to win this race. If you want to see a teacher and you want changes, because I have proven to you all who I am.
yes, you have.
There's no grant. This is who I am. Ask my son. He'll tell you. This is who I am. What you see is what you get. And the way that I fight for my students, because those are my babies.
Yes.
Don't mess with my babies. And that's how I feel about the school system and public education. And that's how I'm going to fight in Austin. But if you got $5, $10, donate it.
Mm-hmm.
Because this stuff, those yard signs, those things are high.
Oh,
Don't think,
yes.
oh, I don't have $100, baby. Make the little $5. If $5 you can give every pay period, I'll take it. 10 times 12 is $120. Put your name on it. Put the $5 in there.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's going to take that type of grassroots effort. Also, I'm an entrepreneur. After this run with the public school system, probably, well, more than likely what I'll be shifting to, I offer free. My thing is math. I used to teach reading, but I merged math and literacy together. If you see one of my Facebook ads, click on it. Join me in a Facebook group. Join me. I have a free resources group where you can get tips from me. Because what I am telling you all, in the day and age of scripted curriculum, authentic teaching is a dying art. And that's what I'm trying to keep alive for the people who are going to teach the children coming up. They will not know what authentic teaching is if we
Yeah.
don't keep that together. So
Yeah.
I have free workshops monthly. I have memberships. I have digital products. If you just want to read a blog post, help my SEO out and read a blog post. Those are the ways that you can really help us out and our profession and be as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, sounds good. Well, we will definitely be back and hope everybody enjoyed this live. We did a pre-recorded live. So hope everybody enjoys that. So that way we can get into the comment section and get some questions answered for the people that have comments. And again, if you are a teacher on home duty that has been reassigned to home duty and you want to come on and talk, even if you want to just do audio, even if you want to just share your story, please reach out to me, reach out to Michelle. Only reach out to Michelle if you're in the union, guys. Michelle cannot take up a whole bunch of her time if you are not a union member because she is fighting for her members. I have a little bit more time on my hands, so you can call, reach out to me, and we can see if we can get you some assistance. But guys, join the union. Join a union. Join some type of association to get you some support. You cannot fight this alone. You are not going to be able to fight school district attorneys and school districts. They are the most grimiest. They are the grimiest people. You will not be able to fight them alone. So please get you some insurance, get you some support, and join a union. It's 20 some dollars a check. You cannot afford to not have it. All right. This is not a sponsorship or an endorsement, but get you some coverage. Okay. Trust me. Trust me, get you some coverage. All right. So we'll see you guys back next time when we do another live. I think we'll be back real soon with the shit y'all got going on. All right, guys. See you.